And so I do want to pause. I will be back. I do want to pause. Last week, we shared a lot. The adults shared a lot. I want to give voice to one of our young people today to actually share. So I want Khadijah, if you would come and just share for a couple of moments. This is actually the beginning of the school year tomorrow for us in Coatesville. We're starting a new year, and I think it's so easy for us to do our thing that sometimes we forget some of the things, the voices of the young people. And God has something He wants to speak to them as well. I don't know what she wants to say. You better embarrass me. Just playing with you, Khadijah.
This is a safe place. Don't you?
Oh, you got notes and everything?
All right.
She make me look bad.
I'll be reading.
Can y'all hear over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on over, fellas.
I think they're good over there. They have an unobstructed view.
Okay.
Okay, I'm reading Genesis 41, verse 41 to 44. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring in his hand, and put it among Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had, and then cried before him, Bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand a foot in all the land of Egypt. If I had a topic,
all right.
it would be.
She's gonna replace me.
It would be anointed to bounce back.
Wow.
Anointed to bounce back.
Anointed to bounce back. Wow.
That's the word.
Wow.
In this particular story, you find that every time Joseph enters a new stage in his life, he is forced into horrible situations. Whether it's being thrown in a pit or being put in jail, there had to be a reason why things weren't looking up for him. My dad once said, the wilderness is a necessary transition, but it's never supposed to become a destination. So this wilderness was full of being betrayed. This wilderness full of being betrayed was necessary for him to do what he was anointed to do. If he was not put in the pit, he would not have been put in jail, and he would not have been ruler over the land of Egypt. There's a lot to learn from the wilderness. Who knows if Joseph would have been able to forgive his brothers if he just went straight to ruler of Egypt.
That's it. Say that again.
Well, just hey, Dad.
Doug.
Go ahead, girl.
Who knows? Who knows?
That's not even KK.
That's my niece.
I knew it first. No, step back.
Okay.
Don't break, Khadijah. Let the Lord use you.
Who knows if Joseph would have been able to forgive his brothers if he just went straight to ruler of Egypt. My favorite part of the story is the very thing that's, my favorite part of the story is the fact that the very thing that started his downward spiral is the exact same thing that got him power. The very thing that put him in bondage is what connected him to his promise. There are 3 points that I'd like to leave you with. The wilderness is in fact needs to bounce back. If nothing bad happens, there is nothing to get up from, nor anything to learn from. The wilderness gives us a chance to have even more faith in God. There are times in our lives when nothing will go right, and these are the very times we have no choice but to trust in God. Those will also be the times your friends and family just so happen to be asleep or busy doing something else. But just because you're in the wilderness, you should still be useful. The wilderness is not time to complain or try to get the whole world to sympathize with you and throw your pity party. That comes.
Take your time, man. You understand? This is heavy. Take your time. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Go ahead.
Breathe slower, Khadijah.
Jesus. You got it.
That causes you to miss opportunities. Joseph continued to interpret dreams even while in jail. If not, the butler would not have known he could, and he'd still be in jail. All that to say, the wilderness is not an excuse to miss out on your promise. Anointing comes with the price. Some may not like you.
Is that point number 2?
Yeah, that's point number 2, guys. I'm sorry. That's point number 2. Anointing comes with a price. Some may not like you or what you're anointed to do or be. A lot of us, I'm sure, have found ourselves in metaphorical pits where we feel closed in, alone, different, even below everyone else. Your anointing will cause some people to not like you or even be mad at you simply because you're anointed. Let's take God, for instance. People didn't like him even before he was born. That just goes to show that when you're anointed, there will be things you'll automatically be excluded from and automatically condemned for just because of the calling on your life. Point 3. You can do or say the same thing over and over again, but it takes getting under the right person's radar for a change to come about.
What?
Say that, preacher. Can you say that one more time?
You can do or say the same thing over and over again, but it takes it getting under the right person's radar for a change to come about. His brothers obviously didn't care to hear what he said, but as soon as the time was right and God was good and ready, he gave Joseph a position in a high place. In conclusion, it seemed as if every step forward Joseph went, he ultimately went back several. But when the time was right, not only did he make up for the steps he went back, but he also went up a few extra steps. God can't be predicted, and what he decides to do in our lives is always a shock, because he actually does more than expected. So no matter what happens in your life, or how many times you fall down or feel idle, just prepare and get ready to bounce back, because what God will make out of our wilderness is going to be great and in his own way.
Ooh,
I'm done.
Thank you, Khadijah. Thank you, Khadijah. Seriously, can we bless God? No, really, can we bless God? Thank you, Jesus. 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 Don't start, Minister Carla. We're going to all be on the floor. Woo! Thank you, Jesus. 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 Hiya! Thank you, Jesus. 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 If you ever have any doubt about whether God is with you, when God cares enough to send you a word, and then to send words to unexpected places, right? I didn't give her a whole lot of advance notice. In fact, it wasn't like I talked to her last week. It was last night, I think it was. I think we just prepare something to share for tomorrow. And God is faithful, and we are godly proud of you. But we praise God for listening ears, able to hear what He's saying. Not only was it biblically accurate, but it was the right word in the right season. And I know she didn't just steal what we were talking about because it was written down. It was written down. And so God already knew what He wanted to say to us, even before our conversation this morning. Anointed to bounce back. Anointed to bounce back. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't want us to just hear the words that were spoken, but I need you to hear it from the place where you are right now. That many of us are in places that we are like, God, I need to bounce back from this. In fact, that's not what you were saying. You're more like, God, why am I here?